gonna be playing some pilot today.
No, don't tell me the other ones are.
Let's go with the alternate costume and the alternate starting weapon.
You fucking asshole. He is fucking.
And, yeah. No, you're good. Alright. Here we go. Let's have some fun.
Fucking hate their attack patterns. Fuck the magic one.
Alright. I'm really doing this mostly for the experience of my friend who's brand new to Enter the Gungeon. I'm going to be pretty detailed in the first couple floors. Especially on the first floor, one of the main strategies you want to keep upholding is keep strafing in a circle. Don't go back and forth. That's just, no, that's a pretty poor idea in most encounters, but you want to stay really close in the circle. When the shotgunkin, little shotgun guys, explode, stay directly under them. Because you won't get hit by their explosions if you do something like that. The little bullets, so the ones that look like grenades will fly at you and then explode. The ones that are white will shoot multiple times, so beware of those. And the ones that are red will shoot two at once in a little spread pattern. But if you are using, and if you see the one that just looks kind of coppery like the regular bulletkin, that one just fires straight at you. Alright. And so when you see stuff like these, I always prefer to go up, but if you see something like this where there's the locked room, either this path or the path below it, this one will lead to the locked room. I prefer to go up, since there's usually a better chance for a reward. Alright, here's the shop. What do we got? Corsair's not a bad weapon, but it loses a lot of its efficiency on later floors. So we found the boss, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. While you play, you should be getting a pretty decent progression of weapons. However, see, for right now, I'm going to leave that blue chest alone, since I know I can get through most of the first floor with just my starter. I definitely don't like to fight the boss with just a starter, so we're going to see if we can't find us a good weapon before then. But with the pilot's active item that he starts out with, which is his trusty lockpicks, you can actually swing getting a lower ranked chest for free if you get lucky. And the pilot is all about luck. Though one of his starting stats, see, and that's why we kept the blue chest not open, because we got a black chest here, and that's clone. So clone is an item that when you die at any point in the run, you will restart your run from the first floor, but not lose any of the weapons and items you've accumulated throughout the run. So I know that because on every floor, one chest will be a item, and one chest will be a gun. Since we've already found the item chest, which was that black chest, we're going to know that this blue chest item is a gun. Okay? Now, I really don't want to use a key right now, so I'm going to see if I can't unlock the blue chest with my trusty lockpicks. Unfortunately, the lockpicks did break the chest, so we're going to break the chest as well. Got some junk out of the matter. And we are going to fight the boss. I'm not going to be using Corsair because I trust myself when fighting the bosses, even with my standard. But if I was a new player, I'd recommend, if you didn't have a good gun, definitely buying a gun rather than trying to fight the boss with your standard weapon. Especially in a fight like the twins, prioritize one of them. Don't try to even out the damage, because they heal after one of them dies. The other one will get some health back from that. I just took damage, which is unfortunate, but it's okay if it's unavoidable to take the damage. Especially with my starter, I'm not expecting to do this without taking some major damage here. That said, this is a pretty sad performance. We're gonna get through this. This pilot starter is just infamous for being one of the worst starting weapons you can have. But we're not gonna let something like that slow us down here, are we? If you're playing with a starter, your starter does have a lot of limited range, so you do want to stay close to the boss as much as you possibly can help it. Whew. Not playing well today. Yikes. But that's okay, folks. That is just fine. The combined rifle is pretty good. It's got a rapid fire first, but when you reload, it'll switch it into this little beam ball that does a lot of contact damage to enemies. So, you know, be wary of that, be cautious. Now, I don't have enough keys at the moment to go to the secret floor, but we're going to try and swing it anyways, because you can use the pilot's trusty lockpicks on little grates. We're going to see if one of them unlocks, and we're going to go to the secret floor. So this floor right here is called the sewers. It's a hidden floor that you can get to only by going through the grate that is there at the there on the first floor. It's not required to go through the grate before the... Okay, anything dropped? Another key. Nice! One of the things I didn't mention about Pilot is his hidden compartment. One of the things he starts with gives him more bullets in the reserves of every gun he picks up. If you hear any background, that's my friend. He's playing Dark Souls 3. He's having a good time, as you might be able to hear in the background. Good time may be subjective. So that's one of the things, is the combined rifles ball that it shoots out does a lot of damage, and it will disintegrate enemies upon contact. So for those pesky enemies who leave behind presents after death, this is one of the best ways to really deal with those. I'm pretty low on health, but I'm feeling pretty good about myself, so we'll see if we lose this armor. We'll go pick up that health, in the shop. Otherwise, we're gonna have a little bit more fun. Now, see, even I wasn't feeling too optimistic about that little predicament with everyone in the center, so I wouldn't hesitate to use a blank if you're in a sticky situation, okay? And if you saw what I did to that Blobulon little green guy that was running around making poison everywhere, as I said before, this thing, whenever it disintegrates an enemy, it prevents them from any of their after death scenarios. So it's really, really, really good for dealing with harder enemies. So we're out of that now. That's a little sad. But that's okay. Now, especially for floors like this where I'm trying my best to avoid as much damage as possible, I'm not going to be using any of my my trusty lockpick charges to try anything, because I really, really want to get that confirmed item from the chests. Although I am having some poor luck here with finding any of those chests at the moment. Woo. Oh, I got lucky, I got lucky, I got lucky. Get out of here. There we go. Okay. And remember, if you have any questions once we catch up to where I am now, feel free to post any questions. I'll do my best to answer them while I'm playing. Ooh, I got a blink. Stuff is getting intense. Of course, one of my biggest things that I try never to do is stay stationary. But another rule is especially use these pillars to your advantage, but don't get trapped behind them. A lot of enemies will come and swarm you, and you will be in a really, really bad situation at that point. Couple messages here. Let me check on those real quick. All right. Ooh, that's an unlucky get for me. Teapot is not a great weapon. I, unfortunately, will be forced to use it, though, since it's better than my starter. It may not seem like it at the moment. What hit me? I do not approve whatever hit me there. Got lucky on that, and I'm going to buy a key from the shop. Shops on every floor will come with a key, so don't be worried if you don't have keys and you really want to make sure you're going to be able to open up a chest on the next floor. Every shop will have a key. And here we go, we're going to fight Blobulord. Blobulord is an enemy you really want to try to keep your distance from. Just like that. Things will hurt if you get too close to him. Or if he gets too close to you. He's got this really powerful area of attack, like this right here. Those will bounce around the room for a short while and then come back to him, revealing his true form again. And I'll talk a little bit about the item I got here. It's called Stout Bullets. The bullets do more damage if you're close to your enemy. They're also bigger as well, as you can see. But eventually those bullets will return to their true size after a short distance. As you can see here, when I'm fighting him, the bullets will go back in size. At this point, for those of you who are behind on the stream, feel free to catch up and go live. It'll be good to have you with us. A little sad that I took damage, but that's okay. The good thing is, on the special floors, there's no penalty for taking damage on a fight. And the clown mask is really tasty. The clown mask will give you a chance to get the rest of the payday items. However, when you first see it, it'll be in a shop. It'll cost more money than you can earn in the game. And you might think that's not fair, and that's because it's not. The only way to get it is to either anger the shopkeeper or steal the item. And if you know, angering the shopkeeper is pretty easy. Just shoot in his shop a couple times and he'll get angry, he'll threaten to kick you out, he'll start shooting. Don't be too scared though, just leave. Unfortunately, if you do anger the shopkeeper, you won't be able to buy any items for the rest of the run. But it's the only way to get the payday items. I forgot to grab the old crest. That old crest that you saw me unlock and get to, if you pick it up and you place it on an altar that you can find in the second floor, it will unlock the second secret floor. I'm going to take a break and reply to something really quick. Alright, and here we go. We're going to move on with this floor. I'm going to keep using the teapot for a little bit, because I want to save the ammo that's currently using my, I really want to save that ammo that I'm currently saving for my combined rifle. The synergy for the teapot with the payday item is that, as you see, whenever I reload, when the clip is empty, I create a little field around me. That field burns enemies in its radius. So it's a pretty useful little effect there. But be careful not to get too overzealous. You can take damage from trying to make more use out of it than you can really get. Heart Lunchbox isn't necessarily a bad purchase for me at the moment. However, we're going to go with Heart Lunchbox. We're going to pick that up because it's an extra heart container, and we're severely lacking on that, seeing as our gameplay seems to be not so great at the moment. We're going to need all the extra survivability we can get here. There we go. This little follower that I get from the payday synergy, he will occasionally create blanks around me. So he's relatively useful, but I wouldn't count on him to provide blanks. Use him as more of a utility person and leave him as that. The Gunsling King, once you rescue him, will offer challenges while he plays. He'll offer challenges for money, and if you complete those, he will give you a weapon or item for free, and he'll give you your money back if you complete the challenge. So if you have the money, it's always a good idea to accept his challenges. Free items are a rarity in the dungeon. Phrase "no such thing as a free lunch" definitely applies here. I do not like those little loot bag looking guys will run over you and swallow you, dealing damage. When they go close to the ground, they become invincible. So it's best if you see them in a room to try and get them as quickly as possible. And so if you recall the old crest that I was talking about, if you bring it to here, this little altar, you can place it on there, and the entrance to the second secret floor will be revealed. The bow is kind of a sad get. It's got some pretty funny synergies, but as long as we have it, we might as well use it. The good news is that its charge shot does a lot of good damage, and with stout bullets we can make some pretty good use out of it. As you can see, it just 3-shot that gun knight. It does good damage, but I don't rely on it. And this right here is the reason why I always say you should open brown chests, is things like Lichy Trigger Finger are a really, really good item that you can get. It increases your base, the speed and how fast you can fire your shots. It's a really, really good item. So let's see, we've explored the floor, we found a secret room, and I'd say we're prepared for the boss. Here we go, let's see who it is. Okay, so we got B-Holster. I think I've given you guys a rundown on him before. He's not the worst, but definitely not a pushover either, especially if you're not used to dodging these sort of wide range, especially like full vision attacks. He does a lot of these really confusing moves that can really get to you. Got some hot lead, transform some of our bullets into heated bullets. That's really, really good for us. Bullet modifiers are one of my favorite things to get in-game. And Shades' revolver is one of the 2 revolvers you can get that corresponds to the twins that you that I just actually fought earlier here. Shades' revolver gives you a point of coolness. Coolness is a stat in Enter the Gungeon that revolves around how fast your active items recharge and the chance you have of receiving rewards at the end of a room, such as health, ammo, or keys. It's always a good habit to get in the habit of checking for mimics whenever you see a chest. It's a habit I can forget easily, but definitely the moment you forget it is the moment when it will happen, and you will be really sad because that mimic will just hit you and take a full heart away or something. So if we had bought the rat key on the last floor, this room would have where the rat would be. Because you see his little rats running around, and if you see those big puffs of smoke come out when you're running over it, that's where the entrance to the rat floor is. Of course, I've said this in a couple of previous videos, but if there's somebody who's buffing all the enemies in the room, go for him first, because you're almost assured to take more damage if you don't. Plus, you'll waste much more ammo. We found our shopkeeper. He's selling Excalibur. There are days when I really like to use Excalibur. This is not one of those days, unfortunately. So we're gonna keep going up and see what this guy has for sale. He's got Mimic Tooth Necklace for sale. We're gonna see if we can't swindle away with another key before the end of this floor. What's up? Okay. Alright, and as we're making our way to the third floor here, you're having a fair amount of fun. Sorry if I didn't acknowledge you, Mute Dog. I see that you're here. Oh no! I hit the side. It happens far too often here. Well, that enemy blew himself up. Which, in my professional opinion, is not the smartest move in the book, but it is a move. So, you know, kudos, I suppose. One of the hidden stats about bullet modifiers is the slower firing the gun, the more chance for the bullet modifier to activate. That's why when you see me firing my bow, you're going to see a lot of it be the fiery bullets. And getting another active item leads me to my second part about the pilot. He also, his hidden compartment not only gives him a little bit of extra ammo with all the guns that he uses, but it also gives him a little extra in the way of he has a second active item slot. So you see, now that we've gotten that second key, I'm going to go back over to our key vendor and buy Mimic Tooth Necklace. This is a really, really good item, especially if you're better at the game, which transforms all chests into mimics. This may seem like a bad idea. This may seem like a bad item at first glance. However, it has a lot of utility, as you no longer have to spend keys on any chest during the run. But oh yes, and the difficulty of chests, especially when fighting them, increases with the rarity of the chest. So brown chests are relatively easy. Blue chests are still pretty easy. Green chests definitely start to get a little harder as it goes on. And Cannonball Rock is one of my worst fights in existence. He is actually my worst boss, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to be switching to using the Proton Backpack. It's a really good laser weapon, has a slow wind-up time. However, it does really well when it comes to sustained damage. Especially even now, because we have the bullet modifier granting us some extra efficient killy predicaments. So we see that we have a radiated lead. However, even boss reward chests can also become mimics. So we have to be extra aware of that. We got a radiated lead, and we also got ghost bullets at the same time. That is a big get. So we have about 3 different bullet modifiers now. Ghost bullets allow our gun to pass through enemies. And now we have a chance to both irradiate and we have a chance to both poison and set people on fire. Now that we're having all this fun, let's move on to the 4th floor. I'm going to hold out until we're live. I'm going to keep going through these floors here. Keep having some fun, shall we? You're seeing that I'm getting a lot of synergies at the moment, but that is not something that you should be worried about at the moment. You don't have a ton of items, as you're still near the beginning of the game. But you don't have to worry about that for the moment, for the time being. And I'm going to get a little reckless here at this point, because I'm going to have a little bit more fun. As you can see with that little ghost dog that I just killed, he has a secondary body and a main body. That main body can keep producing copies until the cows come home. You gotta watch out for them. Let's see what we got in the shop today. Actually nothing. That's a disappointing shop. Once again, be extra mindful when you do get something like the Mimic Tooth Necklace, as to stop buying keys from shops. because that's at that point it's wasted money. A hidden perk about the Proton Backpack, it does more damage to ghosts and anything related to those. As a tribute to the series it comes from. Now, as much as I appreciate your rendition, it is, there we go. We are still on the hunt for a chest here. We are severely lacking in some firepower. However, soon here in either this or the next floor, we're gonna remedy some of that. We got Blockner here, kind of an asshole. Just ignore him. As you're seeing me do this fight, just remember that if you go talk to Manny, he's the guy who you did your training with. There's a secret room during that training sequence. If you find the secret room, he will give you a he'll give you a dialogue to kill his old nemesis, Manny, in the dungeon. I believe you'll find Manny either on, or Blockner, sorry. You'll find Blockner either on the 3rd or 4th floor, I believe. It's been a while since I've actually seen that fight. Oh, joy, the dueling pistol. How nice. I am getting some pretty trash guns here, gee. Which is rather unfortunate. But we're making the best out of this. Oh, Shelligan. I really don't recommend using Shelligan if you ever get it. You have to earn it from beating the dragon a couple of times, and to me, it's a pretty trash weapon. It's unfortunate. It switches between firing modes. So in that case, it's an interesting utility weapon. But as actual value, I don't see much in it. However, at the moment our bow is actually carrying us through the later floors. So let me take back my comment in floor 1 that the bow is loses a lot of its value. This is actually really ammo efficient, but it's being helped by a lot of our bullet modifiers here with that irradiated lead and hot lead. It is a charged weapon as well. Bloody Eye is a item that slows down enemy bullets. That's what it does. It's a pretty simple item to describe and use. It just kind of helps the game get a little easier. Just took contact damage. That is awkward. And the reason I'm playing so recklessly and just kind of haphazard is I am, at the moment, not very worried with how I'm playing because we have a really, really broken item in our inventory today, and I really want to make some use out of it. The item that I have is Clone. I believe I described it at the very beginning here. It allows you, whenever you die, you return to the floor you were on first. However, you keep all the items you've accumulated through your run. It's good to have you here, Mute. Please feel free to post some questions while I'm fighting here, because I'm not really too worried about how this fight's gonna go. I mean, if I die, I die, so that's kind of where I'm at this point. Well, I'm not going to lie to you and say that all these bosses are easy. They do get easier with practice, I promise that much. A big part of Enter the Gungeon is learning to practice and predict some of these boss patterns. It's just having a good awareness of where you are on screen as well. I know I got hit earlier in this fight. It is, unfortunately, one of the harder fights in the game because there's 4 separate enemies that you have to really think about and deal with. But then at this point, during the fight, when you reduce it to 1 pillar, that pillar will become aggroed on you and start to fight just by itself. It kind of does this big stomping attack that, if you have the timing down, it's really easy to dodge. I'm going to see if I can't do some disgrace to it at the moment. There we go. And we killed it with effects rather than an actual bullet. Now that there is an interesting effect that that this pedestal is holding. It's called Fat Bullets. It reduces your maximum ammo capacity by a little bit, but in exchange makes your bullets big. Doesn't decrease them at all like stout bullets, and gives them a pretty good damage boost. Battery bullets. Battery bullets is a really, really good get. What battery bullets does is increases your accuracy by 50%. It's a really, really good item to get. And Fat Bullets is actually one of the best things to get with Pilot, I would say, because of Pilot's inherent boost to your maximum ammo capacity, and that Fat Bullets reduces it. It actually kind of cancels each other out. You start with your base ammo capacity for most guns. So I got some pretty powerful items here. One of the active items I picked up is a thing called Melted Rock, and Melted Rock doesn't seem to pose a lot of help at the first part of you using it, because its ability is it blows up dead bodies. However, you get a bunch of dead bodies in a room, you're gonna have a lot of fun. and it has no... You don't have to shoot any enemies to keep its charge. It automatically refills itself. But we're going to be running through the 5th floor for a little bit. Be having some big boy fun. No, we're gonna die first. And I know you heard me casually say that I'm going to die, but that is because it is casual what I'm about to do. I do know about the altars. If you're talking about the altar on the 2nd floor, that is what activates the what's it called? If you grab the old crest from the sewers and put it on the altar on the 2nd floor, it will activate and give you the entrance to the 2nd secret floor. There's our dragon. We're gonna see if we can't get all of our chests before we die. Once again, we're gonna get real casual with that whole death thing. So my friend here next to me is playing some Dark Souls 3. He's having some fun. It's your first time playing, right? Or first time playing Dark Souls 3? So it's his first time playing any Dark Souls games. He has played Bloodborne before, but he hey, you helped a lot. Those are chance belongs. So now we got one really big dueling pistol shot whenever we fire it. And then it bounces around, becomes slightly smaller because of the stout bullet effect. So we're gonna really work on pressing these guys a bunch. There we go. So we got the hazmat suit here. Hazmat suit provides protection against everything like fire, poison, and electricity. So in my experience, it's a pretty good item to have, especially if you don't want to worry about any sort of ground-based thing. See, here we can stand in fire and we're perfectly fine. We got an empty room, which is pretty rare in the forge. Oh, stop giving me health as a reward. I don't need it. Hey, that enemy died for me to just eat that lead boy out of existence. Goodbye, spider. Sayonara, senor. Oh yes, so those are NPCs that after you save them, they will appear in the breach, in the main place where you select all of your, Beehive, there we go. Beehive's an interesting get. But yes, those are NPCs which will appear in the breach after you save them. But the keys themselves will appear after you kill enemies. You have to search the entire floor for them. So just, kill everything on the floor. And even if you open up something like the secret floor, the sewers room, on the first floor, I would recommend not going in until you've cleared the floor and killed the boss. Oh no, on the first floor you want to get as many items as you can. After that it doesn't necessarily matter, but I always recommend, if you can help it, if you can swing it, try to clear everything on the first floor. We are going to get the glass cannon. It's really good. It is a glass cannon. What it does, if you take damage while you're holding it, it breaks and loses all of its ammo. But it is a really, really good weapon. Moonscraper is also good. Plunger is good as well. I'm going to grab Plunger, see if there's any synergies. There is. And I'm going to grab Moonscraper as well, just because, well, because I can, kind of. And for the boss fights, since I'm not really caring, we're going to be using both Plunger and Moonscraper. And you will see me die.
Motherfucker.
It's okay. I don't, I'm going to do this to die. This is for the memes. Don't use Plunger on the dragon, please. It's not a... Plunger is a good gun on, like, the first 2 floors. But as you can see, the synergy that I got for Plunger makes it huge. Huge, 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 huge. See, I already took damage there, since I am memeing with this weapon. Seriously, do not use this. If you, no joke, use this, it had better be your last gun besides your starter. Whee! Oh, see, and I'm already out of ammo for it. Oh, holy crap! I think I cooked my balls off! Alright, so... I can see you fighting Lorian. Yeah, that looks...
The first page.
Ouch. But he's one of the last kings you need, right?
Yep.
You got yeeted.
Second page is harder.
So, now that we've returned to floor 1, but with all of our items, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. These poor bastards. They never knew what hit them. And that died. And gave us some heat. Some heat flips. So if you want to see what the Table Tech Heat does, it gives you a almost room-wide burn effect once you flip a table. That's, although the big room-wide effect is mostly from the synergy, but it does give a pretty big area of effect when you flip a table. There, boom, flip a table, have some fun, and... No. was an unfortunate death for an unfortunate person. We got a Tommy gun here. Yeah, see? But I don't need to see since I have Moonscraper. Now the glass cannon does do a lot of damage. In fact, it is one of the few weapons that can break the boss DPS cap if you have enough items to supplement its damage. That is unfortunate. Now, unfortunately, I did break the water barrel here. However, if I get a chance, I will fill up the plunger and show you the one thing that it is good for. I do have a chance. I'm gonna fill up the plunger. That's a waste of money. That hurt my soul. And we're gonna buy the Scouter. The Scouter actually is a little bit of curse, but it the plunger applies a poison effect, so it actually will open the it'll open the grate. And the Scouter shows the damage numbers for all of your weapons. As well as it does a moderate, it also increases your damage by a slight amount. It is a little cursed, so beware. We're gonna see if I can't use the glass cannon on this Gatling Gull here. As you can see, it broke the boss damage cap a little bit there already. As he's already at, well, he's already dead. Took about 3 shots there. And I am going to try to just burn that puppy to the ground. Okay, so we got a ballot here. The ballot increases the, ooh, nice. The ballot increases your coolness percentage by 3. So it is a really, really useful, it's a really useful item. I like it a lot. And I forgot these are Table Tech Heat on the box. That could have worked as well. But at the moment, we're going to stick with our Moonscraper for room clear. And we're going to put on the Teapot as well for a little bit of fun. But we're going to make our way to the secret floor entrance, given that we've got 5 keys. We're going to get in there, and I'm going to do a full clear of every secret floor that we have to offer and enter the dungeon. So this is going to take a little while, but I hope that you'll stick with me for this and have some fun. Good, I was almost running out of ammo there. And that should be a dead mimic. Should be. Is. The Heart of Ice is an interesting weapon. It's technically a passive. It gives you a heart container, but when you take damage, it shoots out ice all around the room, which can do a lot of it's a really good, does a lot of damage to enemies effect, actually. That was a little awkward. My controller had died right as I went into the elevator there. But not to worry. We are still A-okay, baby. We're gonna be running through pretty much everything pretty quickly. Moonscraper definitely does a lot of damage at this point. And remember that a lot of these effects that you're seeing right now aren't coming from the guns themselves, but the fact that I have a lot of passives that are increasing my gun's capabilities. I'm going to sell a couple items. I actually have almost too many guns to really cycle through at this point, so I'm going to sell the bow. I appreciate you, bow, and everything that you've done for me. You've done some good work. We're gonna grab that Winchester, as it is a pretty good weapon, and we're gonna make sure this time. Remind me if after the boss I don't come back, and that's not worth it. If after the boss I don't come back to grab the old crest, please remind me. I'll go and do that. And once again, battery bullets are helping us out a lot with the spread of the Winchester. But we're going to be having a lot of fun. Make sure that when you enter this room, check to see if the exit's not behind you so you don't run all the way through all those traps and then have to come back. That's happened more than a couple of times to me. I've really just I've seen the trap room and went, oh, I need to progress, and then didn't need to at all. How bullshit is he? I almost just took damage right there. That was really a little scary, actually. A little sketchy. Nah, it was just a little sketch. Bubble Blaster is a little bitch. Little bitch. I don't need it in my life. I wish I could sell it. I can on the fourth floor. But at this point, Moonscraper is more than enough to kind of help all my. I just muted myself. Moonscraper is enough to help all of my needs here. We're gonna go fight this boss. I'm gonna keep Winchester on at the moment, and we're gonna switch to Glass Cannon. And I'll see if I can have some more fun like I did with Gatling Roll there. And kabam! Kabam, Shazam, the man is dead. Long live the man. And we have Table Tech Stun, which whenever you flip a table, stuns all enemies in the room. And we have a Cursed Shield. The Knife Shield is a wonderful, wonderful little bit of technology. Whenever you use it, it will generate a little shield of knives around you, which will block not only incoming projectiles, but also do damage to enemies that come at you. And if you tap the trigger again, it will swing those knives in the direction that you're aiming. My favorite character at the moment is definitely the Paradox, and that's just mostly because of its randomized nature. That's just after playing for a little while, Paradox becomes one of my favorites just because there's kind of an element of surprise to it at this point, where that's hard to get from regular games. Because a lot of these starting characters are very much the same with how their starts offer. Pilot usually gets a pretty quick start, but kind of tops out after a little bit if you don't get some good passives. Because he starts out being able to open a little bit more chests than everybody. He has a better chance of going to the secret floors. That's just because of his starting active. So here we have Loot Bag. Loot bag is another payday item. It'll synergize with the little guy over there, and it'll give me another follower. And okay, this time I'm not going to forget the old crest. It's over here. Actually, I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit of, see if I can't sacrifice a little bit of health to do some risky stuff here. Gonna grab that max ammo for our moon scraper, and we are going to head into the next floor. Loot bag has an interesting mechanic. Enemies will forcibly drop more money. However, if you take damage, you will also drop money. So at this point, we're going to be pretty careful about trying not to take damage at all. So we're going to make sure that we are going to use up all of our shots if it means avoiding any damage. Okay, so that is very clear. Because we want to, as best as we can, avoid the we want to avoid any sort of damage until we can get to that altar room, if you remember what I was talking about there. The backpack is nice, gives you an extra item slot. Okay, so in this room you gotta be careful because there's a lot of spike traps there, kind of roaming around. We have the drill for sale. That's nice. I don't necessarily need the drill because I have Mimic Tooth Necklace. Drill is pretty cool because it can open chests. So the drill can open chests for free. You just have to fight a couple waves of enemies while you're doing it. It is an active item, so it does have to recharge. However, we're going to buy that because it gives us our third little minion. And utility belt's nice. It gives us some ammo capacity up and an item capacity up. We're also going to buy the rat key. We're going to have some fun today. I told I was going to give you the full suite, and I'm going to keep to my word here. If you do have a glass Guon shard, a glass Guon stone, sorry, not shard. If you do have a glass Guon stone, when you get hit while you're using the glass cannon, it will actually prevent the glass cannon from being broken once. This room is a little scary because I don't want to take damage at all. But as you see, my little helpers were doing some good work on their own on the other side there. And I believe over here should be our altar. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert the old crest, and you see that tomb is going to open up to reveal the second secret floor. Now remember, just because it's there doesn't mean we have to go into it yet. We're going to see if we can't fight our boss first, okay? But let's do a full clear. Let's check this out. I can offer a blood sacrifice to the altar, gain a little bit of curse, and increase my damage by 25%. I'm going to do it because I have a fair bit of health at the moment. So I lost one of my health containers and gained extra damage for that. We got a Gunsling King here again. Let's see how much he's really he's offering $18. Let's see if we don't have a room that we can enter to check some places out. No. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to afford his challenge at the moment since we're a little overzealous with our spending. It's a little sad, but that's okay. At this point, I have a little more things that he can offer me. And you got a lot of time to ask me some questions around here. We're getting to a pretty overpowered run, so it's not like I'm preoccupied with a lot of things here. I could even not shoot sometimes and let my minions do a lot of the hard work, but that's just not my style. Oh no, that was a synergy chest. Synergy chests are never ever mimics. I recommend for a beginner to start off with the Marine. He is the most basic of the characters, but that also makes him just the best for a beginner to learn. He's sort of the best introduction to the game, if you will. And we have to remember that all the chest rewards are still mimics. So you gotta be extra careful. Then we got an RPG here, we got an Raging Photograph. Now I'm not a big fan of the RPG. It has a really long reload time. So with that in mind, we can go to this little gun muncher here. We can trade in 2 of our guns. Now, what guns do I not want? I don't want the plunger anymore, not really. It's not a terrible gun, but it's lost a lot of its effectiveness here. So we're going to trade both the RPG and the plunger into the gun muncher. And for our efforts, we were rewarded with a tranq gun. The tranq gun is one of my favorite little guns. It's a pretty basic pistol, but it's got a really high capacity and a good reload time. So it proves itself really, really effective when it comes to fighting enemies. Actually, we're gonna stick on Moonscraper and tranq gun. And if I haven't explained some of my other items here, the knife shield is really good, but I have the drill and I have the Ring of Ethereal Form. The Ring of Ethereal Form, when you use it, will provide a frame of invincibility where you can both hover, pass through objects and enemies alike. And but it will run out, so don't let it run out over a pit or inside of a bullet, because you will take damage coming out of it. So this is our second secret floor. You're going to see a lot of enemies that we haven't seen before. It's also got a lot of pits, so you got to make sure your timing's pretty good when you get to this floor. Because this floor will challenge you on how well you are jumping over pits. So we got a chance to go on up there, and he has been dealt with. Yeah, no, I recommend the Marine because he's got an accuracy up and and to begin with, not only does he have his accuracy up, it's also got a slight reload up as well. Did we go through the... No, we haven't gone through the floor yet. That was pretty good. But... so these enemies, while not hard, can be really scary, especially in the dark, because of the fact that you can't see them. Since that's a synergy chest, we're going to open it this time, see what we get. We got Table Tech Stun, and we got Table Tech Sight as well. We can flip a lot of tables. And I mean, a lot of tables. So let's see what happens when I flip a table here. We're Time is gonna freeze. We're gonna shoot extra bullets. Everything's gonna burn. Oh yeah. And if you didn't know that table tech burn, or table tech heat is what it's called, I believe, can actually extend into other rooms. So if you're close to the edge of a room and you've got a table, flip that sucker. Battle standard increases the effectiveness of your minions. So that's a really good item to have. I don't need either of these, and I don't want any more curse, so we're not going to pick up bracket key. Control delete. And, no. Actually, wait, no. I have a perfect thing. I'm going to switch it out for Knife Shield. Knife Shield does lose a lot of its effectiveness in later floors. But Bracket Key does not, given that Bracket Key does room-wide damage and prevents extra enemies from spawning. In my opinion, it's a much more useful item than a lot of things in Enter the Gungeon. But it does come with a couple curse, so it is a risk-reward kind of item. Now I know why I don't have as much money. I took damage in one of those last rooms, which made me drop a lot of money. So once again, I have to be pretty careful when I use loot bag. But that is just fine by me, baby. Oh, it's all gravy, baby. Alright. Any other questions other than that, what character do I believe is the best starter? Now my friend over here answered jokingly, robot, and now as much as he's not wrong, robot's a really, really good character to be using. However, he's rather difficult to unlock, and he didn't even unlock him himself.
Shut it. You're the one doing unlocking.
You asked me to.
No, I did. I didn't.
Oh, really? Please unlock robot. I can't do the damned thing where getting him. And that is a one dead old king. Oh no, my hardest boss in Cannonball Rug. No doubt about that one. And we got a dome of stone. We got a stone dome. However, nope. If you don't have something like the bullshit cheese that I do, Old King is a very difficult boss. He's got a lot of really good room-wide moves. He has some relatively difficult moves to deal with. But I wouldn't consider him my hardest boss because his patterns are pretty predictable. They're not terrible. But my worst is definitely Cannonball Rog because a lot of his patterns can be unpredictable at times. Now we are going to our third floor. I'm going to find me a rat and have some I'm gonna have my way with him. Let's not beat around the bush. I'm gonna, oh yeah, I'm gonna fist him. It's gonna be ugly. I'm sorry if that euphemism was a lot, but we're gonna, I took some, I've shown him the fight before. But it took me a while to get good on fighting the rat. Every time you say that, I'm gonna give you the finger. Expect more. What am I gonna do with this boy? Anyways. I like up one. And Jet, you need to grow a few inches before I respect you. Guess who's helping you because you would be screwed otherwise. Weren't you asking me to move in for a little while?
Yeah, but then they negotiated it. They were at the same price.
Okay.
They thought they were gonna jack up the price.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of wacky shit you can do in this game. I do have a lot of appreciation for how fun this is. It just has a lot of replay value for me. It took me some time to get to this level of gameplay, but hopefully with a couple tips that I'm trying to give, it'll be a little easier. My friend here, though I do give him shit, he got a lot better at the game after playing it for a while. But even then, it still takes. There's still a level of skill involved, you know? Ooh, Ice Cube. Ice Cube is a really, I've got a lot of coolness in this run, and now our Ring of Ethereal Form is actually one of our better items. Ice Cube is a really nice item. It gives you a rank of coolness as well as being able to, when you use it, when you use an item, you can recharge the item while it's active. And I got bouncy bolts as well, so Moonscraper's getting really bouncy. Holy shit. Oh man. Yeah. No, Ice Cube is really strong. It is stupid strong. I love it. But I'll give you a good example of, oh my god. I don't know which one no, Ring of Chest Friendship. Baby Good Mimic will only copy one of the three, and it's only when the three are, like, together that they're useful. Having one extra of them doesn't do me a lot of good, unfortunately. I'd rather have two of the Shotgunner boys. Double damage, plus all the bullet effects that I've gotten so far. Holy shit. I saw that too. I believe I have dumb smart bullets here. No, absent-minded. No, this is the, nope. The membrane. That's what it is. Membrane is one of my favorite weapons because it does have a lot of bounce to it. We are going to grab the Ring of Chest Friendship, and if I can swing it, if I get another key, I will get Baby Good Mimic as well. Oh, somebody else is watching. But, so the Ring of Chest Friendship, as you might guess, gives me a chance to not only get more chests, but given the fact that I have extra chances to, sorry, this boss is really one of my worst to fight. There we go, I did perfect him though. No, but having him as a, getting the Ring of Chest Friendship makes it so that chests will drop more often, but given that I have the Ring of Mimic Friendship, even when those chests drop, I'll still be able to open all of them. Looks like you got your wish. I have 2 blank boys. I'm gonna see if there was a blank for sale. We're gonna get that, and we are going to head to the rat. We're pulling on a Moonscraper again. And if you remember, you just go down here. You go almost to the end here. Honestly, I don't really worry about the amount of blanks you should carry. Definitely focus more on your gameplay. To get to the rat, you need 2 blanks, but don't worry about that. Just make sure you at least have 1 for the boss, and try to, if you can help it, after the boss, if you don't have to use a blank or you have 1 left over, try to search for a secret room.
Only time you really have to worry is for rat and Full Metal Jacket.
If you, my friend says, if you get the item Full Metal Jacket, which always, whenever you take damage, Full Metal Jacket will automatically use a blank for you. It's a really good item, especially when you're like newer to the game. It helps out a lot. Okay, so I have to go. My infuriating note tells me to go right, then right again, then left. Left, then down, then left, and left again. Yes, Full Metal Jacket does cost a blank when you use it, or when you take damage. It will automatically use a blank for you. So here we go, we're gonna go fight this rat. I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with him. So we're gonna pull out the good old glass cannon first, see if we can't get some use out of it. So we got glass cannons the man first, and we're going in. So here you go, now we're on the mecha phase of the rat fight.
Oh, really?
Glass cannon does a lot of damage. And as I was saying before, glass cannon does have a chance to break the boss DPS cap. That's why it just looks like I just annihilated the little bastard himself. So we're going to pull up that Ring of Ethereal Form again, as I was talking about that before. And there is the mech phase of the rat gone. And now we got to do Punch Out. So whenever he glows gold like that, you can counter him. And you get a little charge up in the corner. And then you press like a square. It actually shows you the if you don't punch at the start of the fight, it actually shows you a little list of rules on how to fight. Unfortunately, I did take a little bit of damage there, but that's okay. We'll get through it. Again, and on the third stage of Punch Out here. Got a pretty varied arsenal here, so you just gotta watch out for the move where he pulls back and goes. You have to dodge backward at the right time. And you can just nail him like that. Bing, bang, bong. And you just knock him out. We're gonna pick up Platinum Bullets. Is a really, really good item. I got it a little late in the run, but that's okay. I am not going to take oh boy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna see a really cursed run here in a moment. It's gonna get crazy. Look at the two items that are laying there. I saw the finished gun. So the finished gun, what's right here, is a reward for obtaining every single item and weapon in the game. It is quite the mad lad himself. Oh, we're gonna get Lord of the Jammed, for sure. Alright, and what you should see around here in just a second, oh, I'm gonna spice myself to death. Spice is steroids, kids, don't use it. But as I am insane, I'm gonna spice myself to high heaven and then some. However, if you do have the Ring of Mimic Friendship on this floor, you'll see this little googly-eyed chest. Talk to him, and he'll tell you a little interesting tidbit. So we're gonna see if we can't just I don't really want any of these items other than the boots. Honestly, it's too strong. Looks like some people checked it out and left. Oh well. No, we're not gonna fight the advanced dragon. I don't want to scare him off.
You can ever get advanced dragon. Even on rainbow runs, I can't.
So that's a pretty difficult thing to get. A friend here was mentioning the advanced dragon. There's a couple ways of fighting him, and I'm going to go through none of them. Because at present moment, I like all my items. They're really strong. And I need to feed a lot of items away. But I will. It's time to die. And here comes that boy. When you do some really stupid stuff, like become God, oh. Oh, I know. What do you mean? No. No, it's not. See? It's just part of the wall decorations that you can see there, but the Potion of Gun Friendship is broken. So Spice is steroids. It boosts almost all of your stats. As you can see there, I took one little point of damage and all of my money came spurting out of me like a water fountain. That is the Lord of the Jammed. Yes. Specifically, the moment you hit 10. Because you can hit 9.5. Just fine. Yes, indeed. Yes, he does. No. You can't stop me, and neither will the Lord of the Jammed. Actually, at the moment, I don't think anything can stop me. Stop me. Ooh, baby love. Do not bring the Lord of the Jammed into, the shops, because the shopkeepers will close up and run away. They will leave. They don't like him as much as we don't like him. I don't mind him at all. Have at me. Spice increases your damage output, it increases how fast you move, but at some point, Spice continuously will give you Curse, and it will start to replace items in your inventory. It just says more. At 3 uses, it will, there we go. Damage there, but that's okay. That's alright, boys. We're gonna switch from finished gun to something like membrane, and then, do we got anything other? Stone Dome. Membrane should be doing some pretty ballistic action here. As you can very well see. I don't believe I'm going to perfect any more bosses. Seasons don't fear the reaper. Now do the will. I can sing Blue Oyster Cult whenever I'd like. Wrong. I literally have the Reaper of Death chasing after me. I believe that qualifies me. See, Spice is now taking away some of my heart containers. But it's giving me a 25% damage up each time I use it. In fact, I should be able to show you that's how fast you can kill a cursed mini-boss. It's just that fast. It just works. What? I love you, kitchen gun. Okay, yep, we're just gonna stick to this. Stick to my guns. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're gonna run in here. We're gonna apply +1 bullets. And we weren't able to run out in time, that's okay. But we got +1 bullets, which means we have one of the most banging synergies in the game. +1 to friend and bullet. And I will show you what that does here shortly. It summons a copy of your gun, which fires with you. So, here we go. I'm going to show you what it's like when you just see some ridiculous stuff happening here. If you think this is overpowered, let me show you some more. He's trying really hard to hurt me. It is not working out for him in the slightest. The boss is dead. Long live the wall. The boss did melt, indeed. This is true. No, he's talking about this. Oh, it's a turtle problem. No, it's literally an item called turtle problem. It spawns turtles for every room you go through. It is wonderful. I don't know why that boss was,
I've never seen a cursed wall.
ah. My. So, I'm gonna do something really ridiculous on the dragon, and people are gonna think I'm a little insane for not doing this earlier, but me in particular. I no longer need Ring of Ethereal Form. I don't. I can walk over these walls already. Boy. I will, actually. Doesn't auto-kill it if that's what you're thinking. Alright, where's enemies here? None? Wrong. It's not spice, so I don't care. So we're gonna actually try to keep the boss out of the shop, the Lord of the Jam, because there's another item that I really would like to buy. Unfortunately, Glass Cannon currently beats out Yari Launcher because of all these damage increases. Glass Cannon can actually one-shot bosses. And at this point, I will take you to go see the Lich. We're gonna see some really fun stuff here. This is my niche. No. Ba-bum-bum-ba-dum-ba. We have the chicken flute. No. Didn't find it when I was running through. I know, right? We are speedy, lickety split fast here. As you see, I am losing health by each minute. But that's okay. Health by minute. Ooh, baby. You saw what I got as a weapon. Okay, let's see. We're gonna sprint through these. Oh, are you talking about the little green guys? I was explaining to my friend that is a item called Turtle Problem that I got from the rat. Explosive rounds, and we are good. We're out of here. Yes, I also got explosive rounds. Okay, so we're gonna switch to using the finished gun and the glass cannon. As well as now I'm gonna take the time to use those 2 spice that I've been saving here. We're gonna... Yes, they can stack on each other. And I'm gonna go pick up my Ring of Ethereal Form. I'm gonna open up the secret room, see what's in it. Oh, nice. Some good old ammo for my moonscraper. Okay. We're gonna switch into finished gun and glass cannon, as I said before. And we are going to go mess us up a dragon. So here's what happens when I do this. And that is a dead dragon. Perfected with the Lord of the Jam fighting me as well. Now, before we go to the next floor, let's make sure we have Moonscraper equipped. I know, it's that was a pretty fast fight, huh? He said I blinked and the dragon was gone. Yep. However, there's a little trick to Lord of the Jammed. If, and only if, you don't switch any weapons and you don't pick up any items, Lord of the Jammed will not come for you until you do any of those things. So when now I'm entering bullet hell, and I'm gonna stay on the Moonscraper and not pick anything up for as long as I can. There's one spice laying on the ground. We're gonna come back to that later. Yeah, that lead maiden didn't actually even have a chance to fire. There's a dueling laser, which actually has a synergy with our dueling pistol. Okay. My game glitched out there. I'm putting out a lot of damage numbers that the game is a little confused about. And if you're also wondering why my ammo is disappearing, like super fast, that's because of platinum bullets. For every bullet you fire, your bullet speed and velocity gets higher. Oh, looks like since I took damage, Lord of the Jam is after me. So there's about no reason to hold back anymore. We're going full force barrage on this. Kind of rushing through. No. I want. To a weapon that has a better room for your statistic, like those right there. We're gonna start going off with this boy. once again, my main component to a lot of my gameplay and what I've described to you in earlier floors is continue to strafe. Movement is everything in these floors. Which is listen to the Todd Howard. Channel your inner Todd Howard. This right here is a dead end once again. Okay, we're gonna switch that out. Keep our potion of gun friendship. We really want to make sure we keep that up. Ow! That's unfortunate. Good news is we don't really worry about the amount of keys we got, or the amount of money we have either. Money means nothing in this floor. We have found the boss. At which case, I'm gonna teleport around a little bit. See if I can't get back to where that spice was way before. Back here, notice there was some ammo. I'm gonna grab this spice up here. I have indeed. Co-op gets really wacky. We're gonna take that spice. We're gonna switch to glass cannon and finished gun. And I'm going to delete a particular lich. Lich is gone. Long live the lich. So here we go, as we are going down again. And that's the second phase of the Lich gone. And now we are on the third phase of the Lich. I'm pretty happy I actually annihilated that second phase, because it is my worst phase of this boss. And that's the third phase of Lich gone. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it yet again. Your boy has been beaten. And we are done, my friend. So if you wanted to see a comprehensive list of the items and everything we got during our run, I'd say here we go. So huge, yeah. So here is the list of all of the items we've gotten during our run.